Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NWA review series for the um, let's see, 4th of August, 1990. We open with a Sid Vicious match. Sid Vicious, of course, out here in a squash match situation, still a member of the Horsemen at the time, still looking massive and certainly wanting to be in control of his run here, as one would often be. Sid Vicious facing off in this particular match with none other than Joe DeFuna. Powerbomb 411 after the bout. Vicious cuts an insert promo saying that the NWA World Championship Sting would be next uh, after the Horsemen's recent attack on Lex Luger. Luger appeared in the aisle midway through the match and remains there the duration of the bout. Not necessarily a good look on him for the sake of not necessarily having a full, plan of what he's doing, but at the same time, Sid Vicious in a 4-minute match, not exactly needing to be there either. Vicious, though, managing some very basic punch kick type maneuvers. Clotheslines out of the corner, big splash in the corner. The enhancement talent gets out of the corner a little bit there and gets some kidney shots. Sid, of course, hits the power bomb along the way. Lex Luger and Sid going to be a built to program in the upcoming little while. Hence, Sid is distracted when Luger makes his way down. Sting talking about the Wonder the Black Scorpion. Sting doesn't know who the Black Scorpion is. Talks to Jim Ross about it in the wrestling wrap up section of the program, and Sting's confusion is kind of met by Jim Ross with a little bit of skepticism. Sting, of course, your world champion, having won the belt at the Great American Bash. Then we go to another in the run of things, the Candyman Brad Armstrong up next. Brad Armstrong, of course, doing the Candyman gimmick, which basically translates to he throws out candy to kids to get cheers. Brad Armstrong beating Bill Ford with a reversal into a side Russian leg sweep, 4 minutes 50 seconds. During the bout, Armstrong cuts an insert promo regarding his new partnership with Doug Furnas, during which it's noted that they would soon challenge the NWA US Tag Team Champions Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. It's also noted the main event the following night would include a Danger Zone NWA Tag Team Champions Doom, Ric Flair, and the NWA TV Champion Arn Anderson, Michael Hayes, and Jimmy Garvin. And Tracy Smothers, Steve Armstrong, and the Power Hour would include Tim Horner versus Bam Bam Bigelow and the Louisville Slugger with Ric Flair and Sid Vicious. Why they go through all this during a match, I really don't know. Obviously, they're not really behind this Candyman thing, otherwise they wouldn't have been talking about everything but the match. But at the same time, Brad Armstrong giving them a really simple match, simplistic as it were. Bill Ford, a big guy who never really did a whole lot in the area, very basic punch kick, and Armstrong hanging on to the arm, hits the Russian leg sweep, and ultimately goes for things quite a bit here. Then we move to none other than Tommy Rich, Wildfire Tommy Rich. Not exactly a guy that you fully need to go into great detail about. Obviously, if you know Tommy Rich, former NWA champion. Rich, though, in an enhancement match here, basically coming back after being gone for a little while around this time period. I think he did Memphis in 87, 88, something like that. But anyway, um, you know, arm bars on from the enhancement talent. Tommy Rich defeats the Hitman with a Fez press 706. During the bout, Rich cuts an insert promo regarding Stan Hansen regarding returning to WCW after the suspension. After the bout, Buddy Landel appears at ringside and said he would give Rich a rematch after his recent win over Rich, and Rich slaps Landel in two fight off. Landel ran backstage when it's announced the match will take place the next night on a WCW main event program. They are at least leading into the main event. Tommy Rich at this point does not need to be in there for 7 minutes with an enhancement guy. I mean, holding on to the leg and kind of getting the kind of leg lock, ankle pick, that kind of thing. Fez press by Tommy Rich gets him a victory, and of course he's pretty well talking about his interest in not much else other than getting the victory for himself. Then we see Paul Orndorff, who comes back in 1990 for a very short span of time. When I mean short, we're talking a few months here. Orndorff, though, still aggressive, headlock takeovers and the like, trying to get as much quick done as he possibly can. Defeating Lee Scott with a pile driver 5:17 during the bout. Orndorff cuts an inset promo on facing Barry Windham in the very near future. I don't know that the match ever really happened. I think this is one of the few appearances of Orndorff at the time. 1990, not his time frame here in World Championship Wrestling. Then we move to the nature of things going even further down the rabbit hole, so to speak. Orndorff, of course, hitting the pile driver and getting the victory. Not necessarily sure that the match needed to be 5 minutes in nature, but it is what it is. And, Orndorff gets vertical suplexes and the pile driver. Orndorff still looking good. Had been away from wrestling since 1987, having the surgery, and I believe opening a bowling alley, if I remember correctly. Then we go to Kevin Sullivan here. Sullivan steps through the ropes. Actually, Barry Windham. I'm sorry, Kevin Sullivan is in another bit of the results. I'm all the way back to watching 1988, even though this is 1990, and looking at the wrong page of my notes. Anyway, Barry Windham out next, and Windham still a member of the Horsemen. Windham still trying to get things going for himself as a member of the Horsemen. Obviously not the original Four Horsemen, the Sid Vicious version. Chris Powers is the man that he is working with. 5 minutes 53 seconds here. Barry Windham does hit the superplex along the way. Midway through the bout, Lex Luger briefly appears in the aisle to watch the match. Why Luger's watching Windham, we really don't know. They don't really have an active program with each other at the time, although the end of the Horsemen a few years before might be reason that they would still have beef with each other. End of Luger's involvement with the Horsemen, that is. I don't really know, but regardless, it wasn't well portrayed there either by the officials or anybody else. Anyway, Windham hits a standing dropkick, gets the superplex along the way and the lariat. Windham certainly doesn't need nearly 6 minutes to beat an enhancement talent, but they give it to him anyway. Then we go to a tag match, Flying Brian Pillman and the Z-Man Tom Zink in a enhancement tag match here. And again, they're kind of getting ready for their main tag team championship run, so they do a lot of good double team maneuvers. They defeat Crusher Kofif and Snake Williams. 7:35, Zink pins him with a slingshot splash into the ring after Pillman hits a dropkick to the face. Zink held Watson in the air during the bout. Pillman and Zink cut an insert promo on being back together as a tag team and having their sights set on tag team gold, having been a team earlier in 1990 as well. Of course, Pillman having less than a year of full WCW run at the time. Just an interesting run, as it were, at least from my perception, kind of going forward into the nature of things there. And ultimately, they are really good. Pillman doing a high flying, gets drop kicks, cross bodies, and the like. Zink, for the time, if you're not familiar with Tom Zink, definitely worth going out of your way to get more familiar with him. I think he gets undervalued from the time he spent with the WWF and the Can-Am connection not working out very well. John Douglas and Tim Hughes in a tag team match up next here, and they face off against the tag team of the Samoan SWAT team, Samu and Fatu, who are relatively new to the area. Obviously, they are, kind of doing the brawling. The Samoan SWAT team, certainly they are around the horn and continuing to be major forces. Early Samu is amazing. Early Fatu is amazing. shoulder tackles, and other basic maneuvers along the way. They eventually get a victory, as one would expect. Top rope splash leads them to that victory. The match runs approximately, um, let me just take a look here. Match runs super short, actually, and the Samoan SWAT team in 1990 still a big deal, and um, Fatu and the Samoan Savage defeat John Douglas and Tim Hughes 506. Splash off the top. Samoan SWAT team cut an in promo regarding their rivalry with the Steiner brothers, and that's where that goes. Ric Flair and TV champion Arn Anderson defeat Scott Williams and Mark White 6:39. Anderson pins White after a spinebuster during the bout. Flair and Anderson cut an inset promo on U.S. champion Lex Luger. Watching the Horsemen after the previous week, including Paulie dangerously joining in commentary during the bout, cutting a promo on Luger, and said Luger should give Mark Callis, aka the future Undertaker, rematch at the Great American Bash in Baltimore during the final moments. About Luger appeared in the aisle. Flair grabs the mic and challenged Luger to get in the ring with them, but he instead returned backstage. Luger and Flair headed to the Clash in the upcoming weeks, which we have already discussed, as we are going in reverse order with these. And again, it's kind of a big thing here. Um, it's a pretty big run, as it were, and um, masked individuals coming out as a major force, and then we kind of get Doug Summers in there, kind of tying up with one of the enhancement guys. Some basic go behinds, nothing really major there. Masked individual, not a major force. But then we go to the uh, highlights of the Steiner brothers and the Samoan SWAT team, which we don't really have to cover because it's from another program. And ultimately, that's kind of where that goes as well. And we will then kind of go along. We'll be back with more right after this.